Alright, so we wanted to do things a little bit differently. This is not going to be part of the normal episodes. It's just kind of, you know, hey, check in, how's it going? You know, what are, you know, some highlights? Anyway, so we just wanted to do some additional videos to answer some questions that we keep on getting. This one is going to focus first on the national parks, since we just uploaded Chaco Canyon, and that is the second to last national park that we did. Well, I mean, in that big, long spree of national parks. We've done other national parks since then, and we're going to do more, but like, that was the big month-long chunk of nothing but national parks. So we wanted to start out with kind of asking ourselves some questions for you guys, so you could get more of an idea for how it went. Question number one was highlights.
Highlights. I mean, Chaco was definitely my most favorite, and I think Danny's as well.
Yeah, we're going to discount Chaco because it's way too cool. Everybody should check out those
everybody
videos.
Needs to go.
And go learn about the Anasazi people and just Pueblo society, you know, in general.
Yeah.
So we're going to table Chaco.
Okay.
So other than Chaco.
Other than Chaco. Bryce Canyon was super cool, even though it was very windy that day. I definitely want to go back and do one of those hikes like through the canyon around the hoodoos. That would be super cool. Do like a backpacking trip out there. Yeah, that was.
And you're supposed to do two. Yeah.
Two?
Yeah.
What else? I mean, despite the fact that we couldn't go inside the dwellings, Mesa Verde was really neat. It was awesome to see.
Yeah.
Definitely like that.
I think I'm going to go with Zion. Zion National Park was definitely a huge highlight for me. We didn't even spend more than...
We just had an afternoon
Yeah,
there.
we just had an afternoon. There's a lot of hikes. It's a lot like Yosemite, which I've done a couple times before. Grew up going up there. It was Norelle's first time. And so I think that Yosemite is always a highlight for anybody. But this time, you know, there was a fire, there's a lot of smoke. You know, the hikes are really long and difficult. Zion is like a shrunk down sandstone version of Yosemite, and it feels a little bit more like a theme park because you can't drive through the park by yourself. You have to, you know, hop on the tour bus and go around. But definitely once I'm in a little bit more shape, I'm going to try to tackle Angel's Landing, with or without you.
Would love to do the Narrows too.
Yeah. And then let's see here, runner-up for Zion. There's so many. We did Capitol Reef. What else did we do?
Bryce
Hold
Canyon,
on, we have to look over here. Okay,
Arches was cool.
Death Valley.
Canyonlands, you take it or leave it.
Yeah.
If you can only do one, do Arches.
Yeah.
Canyonlands was cool, but after doing Arches, it was not as neat.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go with Carlsbad Caverns. That video is not out yet. We're still working on it. It's the last of the big month-long grouping that we did. But yeah, I mean, it literally felt like a theme park, and I feel like I was a kid in a candy shop, just being kind of ridiculous as we went through there.
Yeah, I'm not sure how well that video is going to turn out.
It's probably not going to be great. Yeah, we need.
It was cool and much. You have to go and see it in person for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so what would we do differently?
Spend more time in some of those parks. Like, we were really cramming through and did like a dozen parks in the space of a month, and that.
But we got all the stickers.
Yeah, we got all the stickers, but like, stickers aside, I mean, like I mentioned, I'd love to go back to Bryce and do one of those hikes inside the canyon. Would have liked to spend a little bit more time at Arches National Park.
That's true. Arches, probably my next one after Carlsbad. Yeah.
Also Yosemite. I mean, we were there for like 3 days and definitely did and saw a lot of things, but we were also kind of in a weird spot with work and some other stuff where we didn't really get to take advantage of it as much as I would have liked to, so definitely would like to go back to Yosemite and do more there. Also Crater Lake. I mean, we started this trip, I was sick, and Crater Lake, it was so cold and snowy and everything. I would love to go back like in the summertime and see what it's like when it's all beautiful and green as opposed to white with snow.
I think for me, in Canyonlands, apparently we just went to Island in the Sky, which is just one part of Canyonlands. The rest of it is down into the canyons themselves. but that takes days. So 2 things that I would do differently is actually backpack down into both the Grand Canyon all the way down to the Colorado River, and then in Canyonlands I would actually take 5 or 6 days and actually go all the way through, because I heard that you could get on a canoe and go dozens of miles.
Plus we have an off-roading vehicle, which is perfect for that sort of thing.
We should have again taken more time. So I think of this trip as kind of more of a sample platter.
Yeah, definitely was.
Yeah. So what kind of tips would we give people where it's like, oh, we made a crucial error? So for example, where to camp in Yosemite.
Yeah.
There's where did we stay?
We stayed at Ogden Meadows, which is a campground that's right on the edge, further outside the park. I think if you're going to maximize your stay there, you want to try and get in to one of the campgrounds inside the park, although they're definitely very busy and often full. Ogden Meadows was the only one that on short notice we could get into. And I liked the campground more than the campgrounds that I saw in the park. But yeah, if you're going to maximize your stay in Yosemite, definitely try and get into one of the busier campgrounds, and plan your trip with plenty of time ahead so that you can be sure to get in.
Yeah, and I think also if you're planning on hiking, you should get up early, like 5 a.m. because a lot of times we would be all set to go hiking and we'd have breakfast and then coffee, and then we'd finally get out there and it would be like 1 and they would be just burning up outside. And then we would go
and then
down.
The smoke would come in at around like 3, and so you couldn't really hike then. But at the same time, I was still recovering from being sick, and it's understandable why we didn't make the most of that. But yeah, definitely getting up early is good too.
Yeah, and don't overpack. Norelle kept on packing everything into the backpack, and it just kind of weighed her down a little bit. But I'm just saying, you don't need much.
I don't recall that being an issue.
Well, you were carrying the backpack and everything. It was a little ridiculous.
I didn't complain.
Yeah, that's
We
true.
had water and snacks and a first aid kit.
And a Bowie knife and just snacks for days. No, okay, we'll scratch that one. Other tips though, definitely plan where you're staying in advance, every single spot, and what you're gonna hike.
Yeah, I mean, most of the national parks, they're small enough you can find free or cheap places to camp, and we'll get into that in another video here. But the planning ahead so that you know where you're gonna be, so that if it's dark, then at least you're not scrambling to find a spot. One thing that we did right that I would definitely recommend is stop at the visitor center in every park. Not only are the rangers super knowledgeable and can tell you what's up and everything, but they have plenty of resources that you can find online, but you're going to waste a lot of time searching online and not necessarily find the best thing. Whereas from the visitor center you can really scope out okay, today I feel like doing a 5-mile hike and here are my options, and pick the best from that. As opposed to just hearing what everybody else says online. I mean, do some research ahead of time so that you kind of get an idea for what everybody else is talking about, but then also stop in the visitor center and get a better idea for what you're going to do that day.
Bring light layers, because a lot of these places, the elevation is 5,000 to 7,000 feet, which means when you're in the shade it's cold, and then as soon as the sun comes out you get warm pretty quick.
Yeah, so definitely bring a long sleeve. I mean, it might be different during the summertime, but when we were in the parks during most of October and into early November, definitely bringing a long sleeve light layer, and then also a rain jacket windbreaker layer, because of the elevation in a lot of these places being kind of exposed, they can get pretty windy, and you don't want to be too cold, and then if it's raining, then you've got your cover.
Yeah, and I guess my last tip would be if you see a yellow jacket, look around and make sure you're not parking on top of a nest, because
Grand Canyon, that was
Yeah, that was
not ideal.
no. The last thing you want is insects getting in, and specifically yellow jackets of all things. So
Yeah.
make sure that you are yellow jacket free no matter where you go, because those buggers are nasty.
And definitely, like, follow the rules. Do not feed the wildlife. It's a problem not only for the animals themselves, because then they become more dependent on humans, but it makes them more aggressive, and it can ruin the experience for people who come after you.
Specifically squirrels.
Yeah, specifically squirrels.
Don't feed
They're
the squirrels.
incredibly aggressive, especially around the Grand Canyon and other highly trafficked parks. But then also, like, make sure you're cleaning up after yourself, packing out your trash. There are plenty of gas stations along the way to throw your stuff away, but do not leave it in the national parks. And if you can, like, pick up after other people if you see trash.
Yeah,
Like, clean up that stuff
that's
too.
a huge one. We cleaned up a lot of trash everywhere we went, and it was really disappointing to see how many people just throw their stuff and have no respect. And then you get more trash pandas, and those things are extremely entitled, even more entitled than the squirrels. And so,
Trash pandas, for anyone who's not sure, is raccoons.
yeah, raccoons. So do not feed the raccoons, do not feed the squirrels. That's about it for my tips for now.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good.
Cool. All right, yeah, we had fun. It was great. We're going to go back. You guys should go. That's it for now. Bye.